have to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. It is Thursday again. Already, can you imagine it is already the 12th of October 2023? And it seemed as though just yesterday October came about. What a mess. Amazing, huh? You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question, the biblical question for this week, another doozy. Another doozy. Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Amazing, huh? And again, these biblical questions are put here in an attempt to encourage you to start thinking for yourself, to know thyself. You know what I mean? If you want to be free, and the only way out, you got to know what's going on with you. Keep your eyes on you, and you will become free. So the biblical question I put there for those, and I realize, and I'm totally fine with it, that most people, and it's always been that way, and I guess it's going to always be that way, that most people don't want to know themselves. They don't want to be free. They love the fake non-self. It feels like them, even though it's hell, a lot of unhappiness within, conflict, craziness, fear, and doubt. But they love it, and I realize that, so I'm okay with that. But for those who do want to overcome and have perfect peace on earth, you got to know yourself. So the biblical question is to encourage you to do that. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, out there, whatever you might be doing, picketing against Israel and supporting Palestine, whatever you might be doing, picketing against America, and you're a foreigner in this country, in this land, you could still be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad while you walking up down the Pickens side road looking silly. By calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow us on JLP Talk on Twitter and rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. You got to know how to rumble. facebook.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right? Like, follow, ring the bell, subscribe. Y'all know how to do social media stuff better than I do, so I encourage you to do it, and I do appreciate it. And to get your comments read out loud, to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Bond JLP Cash App. That is Bond JLP Cash App, and rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. All right. It's Thursday, and for all the new listeners that may not be aware, Thursday is for all the calls, but it is really to work with the Bible people. Bible thumper. Because they need a little more patience, in that trying to communicate with them, because their mind are racing with the word. In the beginning, there was the word was God, right? And so their mind are constantly racing, their intellect, and they can't pause and have a conversation. So we set aside Thursday in an attempt to help do that. But we deal with everything. So Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
It's a scene you don't expect to see at a Sunday church service, a fight in the pulpit.
It's a disgrace.
Whosoever therefore...
Let me hear you speak in tongues.
And I read the Bible cover to cover. Very, very close to my mom. A real mama's boy. You will emerge from that as an atheist.
What did you just say? Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper. Amazing, huh? And I totally understand the Bible thumpers now. When I was growing up, down in Alabama, there were no Bible thumper that I was aware of. And I do remember people reading the Bible sometimes, but they were not into the Bible. You know something? Even though they read the Bible, they were not Bible thumpers, and they didn't impose the Bible on their children. They didn't impose it. That's gone now. Everybody and their mama, well, not everybody and their mama, into the Bible. And it's unfortunate because the word that they read just feed the intellect, and it stops right there. They hold on to the knowledge of it, and they never change natures. They're not born again of the new nature. Because with the intellect, they think that they have it, not realizing, and I understand it, that they are worshiping the devil, all in the name of Jesus. And some people break away from that, though. I know people who are broken away from it. So everybody's not stuck there. I do understand that. A few, a handful, break away from it, and they become free. You know, I've said for a while now that a mother's love is evil, and that a mother's love kills you, and that a mother's love is of her God, the devil, Satan. Evil. It's evil. There's no love in it at all, and that women don't have love to give, right? And the reason for that is because the God above is the man's God, and the God below is the woman's God. And it's not, and it happened as a result of the Adam and Eve story, where Eve believed the serpent. He finally got to her, even though her husband told her to stay away from him. She kept going out to the markets and stuff, and he kept meeting her there, the devil did. And he finally convinced her that she could be like her husband. She could be smart, that she doesn't need to listen to him. Look at him, he's listening to his father. Why would you follow a man that want to follow his father, meaning God, right? And finally, Eve believed it, and Satan became her God, and she could no longer obey her husband, who obeyed his father. And then, after a while, Eve, kept going after Adam, trying to convince him, don't listen to your father. Like mothers do today, don't listen to your father. Have you noticed that? They're doing exactly what the serpent told Eve not to do. Don't listen to your husband. And so they tell the children today, don't listen to your father. Even if they don't say it in word, they say it in spirit. They play victim and things like that. And I've said over and over again that we must, men and women, must be born again of the Father. God said, in order to live, you must give up a life. And the life that you give it up, men and women, if you want to live, is a life that's been passed down to you from your mother. The evil spirit that pretend to be love and is not, is only hate. The ego, the emotion feel like love at times, but that's not love because there's no feeling to love. And then as soon as you feel it like love, it turns to hate. You're up and down. Then you want to jump off a bridge somewhere. But a mother's love will destroy you. And it not only will it destroy you, it is destroying you. That's why you must be born again of the Father. And most people either don't understand that, don't want to understand it, because they're so one with the evil spirit of the mother that it feels like them and they don't want to let go. Because the devil, the God of the mother, of the woman, tell the kids, don't forgive your mother. I tell them to go and forgive. Well, Christ said, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must forgive, right? Go and forgive. Go and forgive your mother and your father for not protecting you from the mother. And Satan tell them, no, don't do that. You may hurt her feelings. She may get mad. She did all she could for you. Your father wasn't around, or even if he was around, your mother did everything. And so the devil convinced people not to go and forgive and return to the Father. And it goes on from generation to generation to generation. And the woman's love, which is evil, is pushed on earth as good. What a great deception, huh? The thing that is not love is pushed as love. I've said once, and I said twice, and 1,000 or more times that women do not have love. Women receive love. God in Christ, Christ is man, man over woman, woman over children. But really the man is over the woman and the children because the love is coming down through the woman, from the man into the children. But in our world today, Satan has convinced the world because it's emotional and people think emotions is love. They don't know yet. And most people will never know that emotions are not love, it's evil. And you call evil love in the same way the Christians call Satan Jesus. And this mama's love thing. And so that's why So when Adam listened to Eve, the woman became the man's god. The devil did not become his god. The woman did. And that's why men are so subject to the woman, even when she drives them crazy. They still try to figure out a way of how to stay with evil instead of get away from it, because they must be born again too of God, forgive their mothers so that they can return to the Father as well. But most men don't know it, including some preachers. But and the mother's spirit, which is the spirit of the devil, is not her spirit, but it's the spirit of evil that's working through her. And hell come from below, and heaven come from above, right? And but most people don't know it. But what they're calling love is evil. Every human being that has not forgiven their mother is of evil. That old nature, that nature they're living in, is not of God, is not of good, is of evil. And remember, Christ said that anyone that has anger, not only does he or she has fear, they are a murderer. And that emptiness that men and women have, there is a void inside. Like something is missing. Something is wrong. I've done all I can do. I got a job. I got a lot of money. I do this, and I have cars, and I have fake friends, and I have a big family. Yet I have an emptiness. Something is still missing. Even though they say they love mama, and that mama loved them. Something is missing. And every human being that is close to mama is living in hell, and they are miserable. And I want you to know, and you can ask the people if you doubt me, those who have heard the message of going and forgive their mother, have done it, and all of a sudden a burden will lift it from their shoulders. And that was the spirit of mama, which is the spirit of the devil. It's not her spirit per se. And ladies, you have to do the same thing that men have to do. You got to overcome mama if you want to be free. You must forgive her, mama or grandmama, whoever raised you, and return to your father by forgiving him for not protecting you from your mother. He couldn't help it because the woman he was dealing with was his mother. It was his mother. He's dealing with his mama, and he can't deal with her. So he couldn't protect you. And it wasn't that he didn't love you, he just didn't know how to deal with your mama. And as Matthew 5:21-22 says, if you're angry, you are a murderer. If you're angry, you are a murderer. And I want you to know, do what you want. The problem in our country, in our world, is not physical. It's not racism. Black people are not really mad at the white people. They hate their mothers and grandmothers. They're mad at them, and they call it love because they have not examined themselves to see what it is. And so they have been told it's racism. It's some form of ism. When it's not. No isms. No racism, sexism, homophobism, Islamophobism, deadbeat dadism, Allahu Abbaism, anti-Semitism. It is evil, good versus evil, right versus wrong. And you must be born again. I want to give you some examples of what you feel toward your mama is not love. Another thing I hear about and see more and more of, that is a little, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's been going on for a while. I just wasn't aware of it because my parents didn't do this to us, and I don't know of other parents who did it to their children growing up in Alabama. More and more adult children are taking care of their mama. Even young men who haven't even had a chance to build their life yet are stuck with mama. And mama, you are evil for doing that to your adult children, by the way. You know what you're doing. But making your children feel guilty, like they have to take care of you, is pure evil. And your adult children are miserable doing it. They can't have a life. And to the adult children, this is boys and girls, men and women, you're going to have to break away from your mama by forgiving her and moving on with your life. And if you need to help or want to help, you're helping the right way without guilt. You won't feel subject to it. Because the mother is not going to let you go. She'll be 99 years old, lean over, can hardly lift her back, and you pushing her around in a wheelchair, and you have not had a chance to have a life. And she can care less because her evil spirit is getting what she wants from you, and that's your life. She doesn't love you, and you don't love her. I don't care what anyone says. The God above is the man's God, and the God below is the woman's God until she's born again of the God above by forgiving her earthly father as well. And the spirit of evil will be taken away from her. This is why women can destroy men and children, take them away from the man, go to court, lie on the man, to do whatever she can because she knows that the children love the father and the father loves the children, and the spirit of evil in her doesn't like that. It does not want the children, boys and girls, to grow up close to the father because if they should, evil cannot control them. I want to give you a couple examples of the destruction of the spirit of the woman. And I want you to know, you do not love your mama, you hate her. That's what's driving black people in the ground right now, is the hatred of their mothers. And the deceivers make them think it's something else. And no matter what you give them, nothing else is going to satisfy them because they're going to always have that void, like something is missing, and they're going to always require more from you, and they still won't have peace. No peace in the Middle East. It's the same spirit in the Middle East, too. All who are born of the mother must be born of the father. Here are a couple examples of what the so-called love of the mother will do to the adult, little and adult children, young and adult children. This is from Complex. You don't love your mother, you hate her, and she hates you. That's why she won't set you free. Her spirit is hateful, is evil. And evil comes through her. That's why the world is heavily pushing women to take over not only the family, but in every aspect on earth because it's trying to usher hell in completely. Here's an example. This is from Complex. Though he had multiple relationships over the years, Marlon Wayans has never tied the knot. Marlon Wayans is a brother of the Wayans brothers. He has not tied the knot. Why? Because he never wanted another woman to come between him and his mother. Watch this from Essence.
Recently, my mom passed. And on her deathbed, I said, "Can I tell you something, woman?" She was in a lot of pain, and she was, fighting to stay alive or fighting to go. And I said, "I'm 47 years old, and I've never been married because I always wanted you to be my number one girl." And my mother turned over. She looked at me, and she grabbed my hand. She pulled me close to her. I said, "I know. I love you too." And I gave her a kiss. And those were my last words to my mom. And that's the truth. I never got married because I knew my mom needed me. I always want to be women sometimes want to battle for your attention. They want to battle for your love. They want to be the one. Man, my mama here, she the one.
That's evil. And his mother, when he said that on her dying bed, she pulled him over and said, "I know, son." In her heart, she was thanking the devil, or the devil was thanking her. She did it. She kept her son in hell until she died. That wasn't love. That was hatred. A boy or man or woman has no business. It's not normal to love their mother in that way. That's hatred. That's evil. You just saw evil. Look how she was grinning. He kissing all over. She's loving it because she knows she controls that. Ain't no woman gonna take him from her. And other women watching that, they'll think, "Oh, that's so precious. Mama's love is amazing." A mama's love is evil. And again, it's not her love, but it's the spirit of evil that made a home in her. And if you notice, all men and women who are close to mama and have not been born of the Father, return to the Father, are in misery. And they call it precious. They call it love, and they are in misery. And they know something is wrong the way they feel about their mother, the way she feels about them, but they may not understand it. They may not understand that the mother is evil, and they need to forgive her because they were born through evil and return to the Father. And the world, including the churches, are pushing this idea that a mama love is so special. A mama's love is wicked. That's why so much hell is happening on earth. Backbiting, loneliness, fear, doubt, jealousy, envy, and strife, and gossiping, and revenge, and murder, and raping, and robbing, and wars against one another, and all kind of mess. It's that mama spirit that been passed down to you from her. And you just don't know it because you're living in the darkness of that spirit. Marlon, I wish you well. Wayne, Marlon, well. Wayne, that wasn't love that you felt for her or she felt for you. That was evil. That was hate. Quick break, 888-775-3773. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. Amazing. We have a brand new episode of the Father's State tomorrow, if the Lord is willing and the creed don't rise. A very interesting discussion with Muhammad Ali, not the dead one, he dead, but the one that's still living. Muhammad Ali, he's from the Muslim I forgot, but hold on, let me go find out.
What's going on?
The Muslim Lantern YouTube channel. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You're not a Muslim. It's just a religion that you belong to.
No, I know I'm a Muslim. I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that Christianity is not the truth.
Amazing.
I love the people based on the actions that they take.
My God, in order to be of Him, we have to love all.
Do you believe your God loves Hitler?
Yes.
So that's the difference between our God and yours.
Do you love those Muslims who cut off people's head and put them on the internet?
Absolutely not.
Does a chicken have lips?
Chicken has is it the chicken has lips? I don't know.
That's tomorrow at 12 noon, thefatherstate.tv. At 9 a.m. this morning, thehakereport.com. Thehakereport.com from 9 to 11. And then at 12, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby. I am going to get to your calls here. I see Jasmine call back and everything. I just want to show you the destruction of a mother's love because you've been lied to. I have had so many men and women who have told me and are still telling me that they still live with their mother after 18. And I asked why. Well, she told me I should stay here and save my money. She's telling you that so she can destroy you, suck life out of you. Because everyone knows life is not just about money. It's about growing up, getting away from mama's skirt tail and becoming a man or woman by dealing with the issues of life. But mama don't want you to grow up because you may wake up and she can no longer use you, control you, make you feel guilty, make you feel like wherever you are, she got to be there. A mother's love is evil. And a lot of people are afraid to admit it because they feel guilty. And I want you to know a guilt feeling is a false identity. It's not even real. It's another identity you have attached yourself to, believing that it's real. And you start saying that to yourself, and life and death is in the power of the tongue. If you call yourself these things, you are those things, and you're destroying yourself. If you don't call yourself those things, you will not identify with those things, and you will have life. Those are evil identities. So you heard about Marlon Wayans. He just loved his mama. He pulled her on her deathbed. He said to her how much he loved her, and she pulled him over to her before she died. And those are his last words. And mama died with a smile because she knew she stole the heart, the soul of her son, working on behalf of evil. His soul, I don't know what he's doing now, but at that point had not returned to the Father. In order to live, you must die spiritually of the ego, the not you death that comes through the mother. I want to give you another quick example of what a mother's love will do to you. Because it is evil, it is not love. You're calling evil love. You're calling hate love. Because it feels good. It just feels good. Feeling good is evil. Some of you might have heard of this story from NBC. Disgraced R&B superstar R. Kelly was sentenced Wednesday to 30 years in prison. Step. He's received 30 years in prison, months after he was convicted on all 9 counts of a high-profile sex trafficking case. Watch this from BBC.
American singer R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in prison by a US federal court in New York after he was found guilty of sexually abusing women, boys and girls for decades. The 55-year-old singer was convicted of all 9 counts against him in the sex trafficking trial, which took place in September.
Used his inner circle to exploit minors, women and men. They all came from varied backgrounds, but were similar in their adoration for Kelly. Once under his control, he required them to follow a degrading set of rules. They had to call him daddy, and they weren't permitted to leave their rooms for any reason without his permission. He also directed every aspect of the sexual abuse with him and others, and recorded many of the instances.
Amazing. A mama's love. Every human being that love their mother is evil, and it awakens all types of spirits inside of your nature. I want you to hear. You heard what happened there, right? I don't know if it's true or not, but you heard what happened. But I want you to see where that came from. A mother's love. ABC and The Sun. Over the years, Kelly has opened up about his mother. She was a single parent raising 4 children on Chicago South Side. Watch this from GQ.
My mom, my family, though we had not much of anything, we had family, we had us, we had love. I became closer to my mom. Me and my mom would go to McDonald's. And before she'd go to work, before I go to school, and she would get us a Danish. It's all we could afford is a Danish and a cup of coffee. And we would split the Danish and cup of coffee. She had this cheap lipstick, and she would taste the coffee to make sure it was sweet enough. And she'd leave the ring of lipstick on the coffee from which she tasted the coffee. And I remember when she would give me mine, when I would sip from the cup, I would turn it around and I would drink from her lipstick part. Because in a son-mother way, I had a serious crush on my mom because she could sing her butt off. And I just looked up and down to her. I looked around, I looked everything about my mother. You know, I loved her. And I even asked her to marry me one day. I was like, nah. She said no. But you know what? I understood. I understood it. I took it well.
Amazing. That's why he did what he did. It was hatred of the mother. He had been corrupted with her spirit, which is not her spirit, it's the spirit of evil. And this is what's wrong with every human being on this side of heaven. When when it is said in the word that all must be born again, this is what it's talking about. To overcome the spirit of the mother, which is the spirit of evil. Satan is the woman's god until she's born of the father. And this is why you need fathers in the homes with the mothers to protect their children. But the father got to be born again too, so he can deal with the hell in the mother in the right way and bring her out of her hell. Or at least point the way. He can't make her come out of it. But this is what's destroying the children. And you're crazy, blind, and foolish if you think that is anything else but that. If you think it's racism, if you think it's some type of ism, then you are blind too by your mother's love, which is evil. He would drink the coffee from the mama's cup, turn it around to where she was drinking, where her lipstick marks were, and drink from that side. He asked his mama to marry him. All that is evil, and the mother did it to him. She did that to him, and he grew in that nature and ended up in trouble. This son is reported Joanne Kelly, R. Kelly's mother, died of cancer in 1993. Here's R. Kelly talking about the death of his mother. Watch this from GQ.
I had no idea she had cancer. I had no idea she was even sick. I see the pastor with my mother. I see the doctors. All I can say is, I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I didn't know what else to say. I said, first of all, I love you and I thank you for everything you have done. And I'm sorry for every time I've been bad or did something I wasn't supposed to do. And I promise you. And she died right there. But I finished my sentence. I said, I promise you, Mama, no matter what, by any means necessary, I will be one of the best singers, songwriters. This world has ever seen. And I'm still on a journey today. I owe it to my mom to fulfill that promise, just to be one of the best.
And yet he became a good singer, it appears, but he never found peace. He didn't find peace. But he made a promise to his God, Mama, that I'm going to be the best singer, Mama. I'm going to be just like you. Not a promise that, Mama, I'm sorry for resenting you. I'm going to overcome you. But I'm going to be even more like you, Mama. And now it has destroyed at least his physical life for now. And women are being pushed in every aspect of life now. In the homes, in the schools, the government, everything, doctors, so-called doctors and everything. Because evil knows, and the ones who are bringing these women in and replacing them with men, they know that this evil is coming through the woman. And they need to control the people because they're evil, and they're using the woman for that purpose. And they're using the blacks as well. And not just the black, everybody. Anybody that's got anger, has anger, being used. And you're being used for evil's sake, not for good. Hopefully these guys and ladies who are stuck will hear the message of, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must go and forgive. Forgive your mamas for recreating you in her image and turning you away from your earthly father, and as a result of that, turning you away from God. And one other thing about R. Kelly, here, this is from Wikipedia. He is talking about his father. Wikipedia reported the identity of his father, R. Kelly, the identity of his father, who was absent from Kelly's life and later raised 2 children, is not known. Watch this from GQ.
My past is so strongly embedded in my head, and I don't know how I looked past all of that and made it to where I am today, but I'm, wanting a father, not having a father, first of all, it's automatically something missing in your life. There's no doubt about that. I always felt half. I always felt a hole in the situation. Though my mother was a mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, and everything to me, but I never understood why my father was not with, my mother. That was just something as a child I didn't understand.
Every human being has that hole in them. Something is missing. No matter how close you're supposed to be to your mother, you still have that void, that hole, that something is missing. And what is missing is the love of your father. Mama's love is so wicked, ain't no way it's going to fill that hole, because only a father can do that. And when you forgive your mother and love your father, that hole will disappear. I used to have that as a kid. I wanted my father like something was missing. Even though I had everything I wanted. R. Kelly said he think he made it. He did not make it. He became a little singer, but that's not making it. He became a singer like Mama, but that's not making it. You got to overcome. You got to return to the Father. Ain't no way around it. You must be born again. Every human being. And last but not least, here's another example of hating your mama. And mama destroying your life by imposing her evil will upon you. Even a nice mother is a wicked mother. This is from Outkick. A mother's love is evil, folks. Women don't have love. That spirit that's working through them is a deceiver. It feels what you think love is, but it's not. Love is not a feeling. That's why it doesn't work. When men and women get married, what do? They fight for that love because that phony feeling disappears. It's not love, it's hate. It disguises itself as love. One last quick one. This is from Outkick. In case you still don't believe me what a mother's love would do to children, to anyone. This is from Outkick. Former NFL player Sergio Brown has been arrested, charged with mother's murder. Medical examiners determined Murderous Brown had died after suffering injury in an assault. Watch this from WGN.
After traveling to Mexico and being spotted in several videos online, Sergio Brown is now back on U.S. soil. Brown, pictured here in his mugshot, is now in custody in San Diego. According to Maywood police, he was arrested while trying to return from Mexico. Brown had a warrant for his arrest out for the death of his mother, Myrtle Simmons Brown. On September 16th, 73-year-old Myrtle Simmons Brown, described as a woman with a contagious smile and personality, was found murdered near the Addison Creek behind the Maywood home police say she and Sergio shared. The report also indicates that on September 15th, an officer tracked a cell phone to suburban Bolingbrook, but then the phone was turned off.
Amazing, huh? He down in Mexico. Oh, la mama. Oh, la mama is dead. Every human being hates their mothers, and they call it love. And every mother hates her child, and she calls it love. And this is what happens. Love is not a feeling. So in closing for right now on this, if you want to be free, you must be born again. You must return to the Father. Forgive your mother for what she's done. She couldn't help it. Her mother passed that spirit down to her, and so on from generation to generation. It's in her. It's in her nature until she's born again of the Father. Ain't no way out, folks. And I understand most are not going to take it. Few will, but most won't. Stay in your hell. This is what you're going to get. This is all you'll ever get out of life is misery. Stay in your hell, and all you will ever get is misery. No matter where you live, how much money you have, whatever you think you are, you're miserable because you have not forgiven your mothers and returned to your father and forgiven your father for not protecting you. It ain't physical. It's spiritual. You are a spirit. That spirit that living in your mama is a spirit. It's an evil spirit. And it's passed through her to you and corrupting your innocence. And they blame it on everybody else and everything else except the spirit of the mother. The mother's spirit is protected because it's evil. And ladies, mothers, you can overcome too. You got to forgive your mothers. 888-7753-773. I want to go back to Jasmine out of Texas, and I had to end it with Jasmine. Yesterday we ran out of time. I asked her to call back, and I asked her to call back, and she did. Jasmine, thank you for calling back.
Good morning.
Good morning. And so yesterday we were talking about how you was like lost at one point. You were bodybuilding, and you had money, and did all this thing, and all that. So take it from there.
Well, yeah, my question was more like realizing that I had a lot of anger and resentment towards my parents.
Yes.
How do I move forward when it comes down to like relationships? And I know that we're not supposed to have like actual relationships with anyone. It's just encounters or, you know, situations where you have to, you know, coexist with people.
Right.
And that's what I struggle with the most, specifically with guys. I have this anxiety that builds up, and I'm not sure what to do from there.
A good question. The one, before I get to on that, the one point you made yesterday was a powerful point, and that amongst many you made. And when you said that when these guys look at you, you can see that they're sexualizing you. That is not about you. It's just about the sex. And I've had so many women around the world to tell me that over the years. And I want to deal with that, and then I'll answer that question for you right after this break, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, hold on. I got to take a break. I can't believe the hour went by. It's so important. It's Bible Thumper Thursday. And if you want to be free and you have perfect peace right here on earth, you got to work on you. Ain't enough to go down and say, Jesus saved me. I believe Jesus died. That ain't working. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Israel-Hamas drama, graphic videos on socials. Bibi gets his unity government in Israel, and the ADL is bashing the quiet corporations in America because they're not saying we stand with Israel all loud and showy. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Thursday, October 12th, 2023 AD. JLP will be right back to your calls, great calls, and more great stories. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Don't let the kids see the ISIS videos or Hamas videos. CNN warns lamos urge parents to delete or disable, temporarily at least, their children's social media apps to prevent them from seeing disturbing videos emerging from the Israel-Hamas war. The recommendation comes in advance of the horrifying possibility, CNN writes, that Hamas terrorists might post execution videos of hostages on social media to garner international attention from the mainstream media and the people. Meanwhile, in Israel is conducting a large-scale strike on Hamas targets in Gaza, according to CNN, Common Nonsense Network. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, said today, as the conflict entered a sixth day. Officials in the region say Israel has amassed 300,000 reservists near the Gaza border for a huge mobilization of troops. Roughly the combined number of reservists across the whole U.S. military. For comparison, 300,000. Speaking of the U.S., Pentagon officials are concerned over the potential need to stretch their increasingly scarce ammunition stockpiles to support both evil Ukraine and Israel in two separate wars. Anyway, Hamas militants are holding as many as 150 hostages in Gaza. What is a unity government in Israel? The far-left female-run outlet The Skim reports, after much back and forth from the Israel government, 5 elections in 4 years. Wow. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took his seat back in late 2022 and formed the country's most right-wing administration. This is the Skim ladies saying that in history, right-wing in history. Disagreements over judicial reform, etc., left the government and country divided. Netanyahu's phony corruption trial didn't help. Or was it phony? I don't know. But with the Hamas attacks killing at least 1,200, Israel has announced an emergency unity government and war cabinet. Netanyahu and opposition leader, former defense minister Benny Gantz, agreed to a united front to wipe this thing called Hamas off the face of the earth. And that's a quote. Netanyahu promised to work with Gantz shoulder to shoulder. And that, too, is a quote. Today, U.S. Jokovic Secretary of State Antony Blinken, not a Christian, expected to land in Israel. He'll meet with Netanyahu and others to discuss creating safe passage for Palestinian civilians out of Gaza, where more than 1,000 have been killed. Israel cut off access to food, water, and electricity and fuel. Blinken's reportedly set to meet with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas tomorrow, Friday. The ADL is going after the commie capitalist corporations. History will judge them. That's a quote from Anti-Defamation League. They love to defame the whites. CEO Jonathan Greenblatt slamming corporate America's lackluster response to the terror attacks on Israel. The ADL leader quoted Martin Luther King Jr., of course, as he pleaded for more companies to speak out against the violence. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And that's from CNN. The unchristian economy, by the way, the war between Israel and Hamas is unlikely to have a significant impact on the global economy, global homo economy. That's what U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, also not a Christian, said on Wednesday. While we are monitoring potential economic impacts from the crisis in Israel, I am not really thinking of that as a major driver of the global economic outlook, she told delegates of blah, blah, blah. International Monetary Fund, IMF, terrible, and the World Bank. Stock markets around the world largely brushed off the conflict, and Wall Street posted gains on Tuesday, partially boosted by the fall in oil prices. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
have to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. My biblical question for this week. Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why? Isn't that an amazing question? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. Listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can, if you're busy and can't watch the show live, you can podcast, of course, but you can keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, what you're doing, by calling the TalkStream Live number at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad. And don't forget to follow us on cozy.tv/JLP and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, ring the bell, and subscribe, and blah, blah, blah. And don't forget to donate and have your comments read out loud. Go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. And rebuildingtheman.com. It's Thursday. It's the second hour of Thursday. It is Bible Thumper Thursday.
The sign outside the New Era Baptist Church in Birmingham reads, "A black vote for Trump is mental illness."
I am the daughter of two pastors.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
President Joe Biden is only the second Catholic president.
The Pope is like, if you don't. They call him the Holy Father. Ain't nothing holy about the Pope.
God, why? Why George, God?
Holy mackerel. I can't believe you people follow a man. Only follow God. I want to go quickly back to Jasmine out of Texas. And Jasmine want to know how to overcome all this stuff, right? Jasmine, so first let me say that the reason when men look at women like that and they sexualize the woman, and the woman knows it too. And I can tell now they know it even more so. They can walk around half naked now. The men, every male, every man hate his mother. And what it does, that hatred, which is false love, awaken his sexual appetite. And he can only see the woman as sex. He doesn't see the real person. He cannot see until he forgive his mother and then return to his father. And the same thing for women, too. Women are not as into sex as men are. They're like sex dealers, but they're not as into it. But he can't help it until he forgives his mother and overcome that spirit and return to his father. Then he will see all people, men and women, the same. They will see the person. They wouldn't be looking through the dark eyes of the imagination. And so I've heard this from women so long now, and I totally understand it. But the way to overcome it, all this, Jasmine, the anger, you got to forgive your mother for imposing her will on you, trying to live through you, turning you away from your father. And that's why you're back at home now, because mama is not going to let you get away from her, and you're not going to be able to get away from her until you overcome her. You got to forgive your mother and forgive your father for not protecting you from her. He can't handle your mother. He's afraid of her too. So he sacrifices not only his own life, but his children's life to the mother.
Yeah. I mean, I've thought about, was it the right choice to move back in at moments? Because I didn't need the money and things like that. It's just, now that I'm here, it's either way. Now that I see it, it's either way. Like, if I stay or if I go, I still have to deal with that.
Yes.
You know? And that's where I'm at right now, because sometimes, for example, I smoke weed, and I've always smoked weed every once in a while. And I smoked weed when I used to be by myself, and I used to drink a lot. But she never noticed it, because I always kept my things to myself when it came down to stuff like that. And when she started noticing, she kind of tried to call me out on it, and I told her, like, this is my life, and, like, I kind of just told her to back off. And a couple of days ago, I smoked weed again. I was going to go to the gym, so I decided to smoke weed. And I go into the house to get something to drink, and she's, like, sniffing around. Like, she knows that it smells like weed, because I smell like weed. And it just, those little moments, I don't say anything to her, but I notice it, and I don't know how to, like, is it wrong to not deal with it and be quiet about it? Or am I being a hypocrite? Like, those are the moments that I'm kind of like, how do I live around that? How does it not affect me?
The only way that is not going to affect you, the only way, no other way, is that you must face her, forgive her. I'm sorry, Mother, for resenting you for what you've done to me. I realize now you can't help it. Just as you can't help yourself to feel the way you feel and, you know, the stuff you've gone through, your mother cannot help herself. And that spirit of evil has been passed on to you when you were born through her. And the only way that you're going to deal with life in a perfect way, you got to start working on you. And it definitely sounds like you want to, and I'm going to start doing that. But you got to face her, forgive her, and then go to your father and forgive him for not protecting you.
Yeah, I actually did do that. So my sister, she listens to your show all the time, and she's actually the one that introduced me to you.
Oh, okay.
And she took me to my dad, and I thought I did, but I had a lot of pride and a lot of resentment still, because I had built my own life. Like, I, kind of raised myself, basically, in a way. And when I actually realized where I was standing and what I had done and how far I had gone, I went into suicidal thoughts. And, like, I knew in the past my dad, because my mom, when she left them, he was suicidal and things. So I went to him, and I spoke to him about everything, and we talked about everything. He actually, the first time I went to him, he laughed it off that he didn't have to apologize to me, that he didn't do anything wrong, that I had chosen to leave. But this time around, when I openly spoke to him about the situations that were actually building up in me, and I pretty much talked to him freely, like I never talked to my dad like that before.
Nice.
And he's like, I realized that I was wrong, and he started crying, and, like, I never seen my dad break down because of me for something like that. Like, he would break down because my mom broke his heart, because, like, my mom was wrong, and, like, it was always about my mom, always about her. And I told him, like, why did you love her more than you loved God?
Nice.
And, yeah, and these are things that, like, this was before I was going more and more into understanding everything. Like, there was conversations that I've had with my sister that I realized that it was like the answers were there. I just never spoke, and, like, I just become anxious, and, like, just shut down. I don't even know how to deal with that yet. And so we talked, and it was beautiful. But now I have this situation with him where he calls me, like he was starting to call me a lot. And I told him, I need you to stop doing that. Like, I'm okay. I know that you love me and I love you, and we don't need to have that.
Yeah.
And he would start telling me about, like, all the time we've lost together, and he wanted me to move with him. But I see it as I'm an adult now. I'm 29, and if anything, this should have been dealt with a long time ago. But thank God that it's being dealt with now. But I'm just coming to realizations to so many things. It kind of feels paralyzing at times, and I question every thought that crosses my mind to the point where I feel like I'm going crazy. And that's where I'm at, because I'm still living with my mom, and I know that even if I move out, it's still going to be the same situation.
Beautiful.
And it's just a day by day.
You know what? You're on your way, Jasmine. Things are working out. And the reason that you're feeling like you're going crazy and all that is because things are working out. You're starting to see, and that hell that made a home in you is having a hissy fit. It's not you that's going crazy. It's the hell that is acting out because it doesn't want to depart from you, but you're going to be fine. You really would. The real you, when all this hell disappear, and it will if you stay with it, the real you will appear, and it's going to be amazing. You're working on you. I'm telling you. The only thing, and number one, I don't see a reason for you to move in with your father either. You're a grown woman. You're making your own life, here on earth. You're working and doing your thing. You just need not to resent him, and you have forgiven him. And then you now have to face your mother. In order to be free, you got to face her. Look at her and say, hey, I'm sorry for resenting you, because I know now you can't help yourself. Once you see you have this resentment, and you do see it, once you forgive her, don't expect her to apologize. Whatever she does is on her. If she fall out and die, mama is dead. What the? And when you forgive her, God will forgive you, and He's gonna wake you up. You're waking up already, but you're gonna really start to see, and He will take that mama spirit away from you, and you will start to die from this false self, this ego nature of fear, suicidal thoughts, worry, anxiety, smoking pot, and all that. It will start to fade away. Layers and layers of that will disappear until it exists no more. You're doing just fine, but you got to face your mother. And once you face her, you need to move out and live your life. And you will be able to say yes and no to her. You will overcome the identity of guilt, because guilt is just another false identity that was imposed on you as a kid and as a young person. But all that stuff will disappear, and you're going to have a real life, because you're dying from the fake life, and you'll wake up to the real life. Right here on earth, you will have perfect peace. But you got to face your mother, and then you got to get out of there.
Yeah, it's just things that happen that I don't know, because it just all worked out for me to be there. And honestly, like, when I went through everything, the suicidal thoughts and, like, having a connection with my dad again, I lost like 12 pounds. I wasn't eating at all, and I went through this dark, I don't even know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest, but it was just, I didn't know if I was coming or going. I was out of it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, a lot of things happen for me to have to be there. At the same time, it seems like I had lived on my own 2 times already, and both of the places that I've lived at, I've had like stalkers, and they're looking through my windows, or like the guy was like at my door, and he wouldn't let me go to work, and he just kept like following me back into the kitchen. I was looking for my gun in the gym bag, with situations like that. And so my thing was, like, the best option to do is just go back home. It is my house at the end of the day. But whenever I go through situations like that, where like I feel I need to defend myself, I get paralyzed. Even in moments where I should react, like when the guy was looking through my window, I just stopped, grabbed the gun, and I couldn't move. I just stood there, and I was scared. I don't know if I was scared, and I know that I have to defend myself, like you have to do things alone, but sometimes I paralyze in moments like that. I don't speak up or I don't act, and I don't know how to deal with that area.
Right. Well, what you don't understand yet, once you deal with your mother, you're going to start dealing with everything in a perfect way. You won't be afraid of anything. Fear will disappear. You will no longer have fear, and you will be able to deal with every situation in the light and in a perfect way. You'll be fine. And right now, don't let moving be. Don't think about moving right now. You got to work on you right now, and that means that you got to deal with your mother. And once you deal with her, and you're going to see when and if you need to move, and you're going to be able to move with no fear. You're going to be able to move out with freedom if you need to move. But right now, you're in a perfect place by being there to deal with her, and you're going to find yourself dealing with her in a perfect way on a daily basis. And life will start to work out for you. It will happen for you. You won't have to make it happen. But you will overcome fear and doubt and panicking and suicidal thoughts, because all those things are not you anyway. It's the spirit of evil. But you've been believing all this time that it was you, and it was never you. But all that will disappear once you deal with your mother. It's just a spirit of darkness that's in the mind and emotions. It's not light. It's not of God. It's pure evil. It's not of you. It's pure evil that made a home in your imagination and those emotions when you were traumatized as a kid.
Yeah. Another question that I had was, I smoke weed, and it's just been something that's on and off, and it's not like I'm an alcoholic or like I'm a pothead, but it's just something that I do occasionally. And one of the things when I went to her and I told her, I'm sorry for resenting you and everything, one of the things she asked me was like, are you doing drugs again? And I told her, like, it's not about that. I'm telling you something that you can't play God. And I told her, I gave her an example. I'm like, what if we were in a room full of people? Could you tell me who is good and who is bad? Could you tell me who's going to go to heaven and who's going to go to hell? I'm like, do you know their hearts? And I'm like, I'm telling you that I don't want to talk. I'm avoiding the situation with you because I'm working on myself.
Yes.
And she's like, but when God is doing something in your life, He doesn't get you depressed and He doesn't put you in the state that you're in, because I lost a lot of weight and stuff. And I told her, like, I'd rather shut up and not say anything than speak and say lies and be fake.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, and like that moment, like I didn't even think, like I want to continue to be that way, but there's moments where like I'm with her or with anyone, like, and like my thoughts just overwhelm me, and like I do the silent prayer, but it's just, those are moments where I wasn't angry when I told her. I didn't feel anything. I just spoke truth. Like, to me, it was true. And like, I don't know how to continue to stay in that. Like, I see myself sometimes go into that and then out of it, and I don't know how to stay in it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All you need to do is see that. See that you're going in and out of it. And seeing it is changing it. Because seeing it is the light of God that allows you to see the darkness. And there's nothing you can do about it but see it. And the one thing I want to encourage you as of this day, stop calling it you. It is not you. It's that evil spirit made a home in you. And so I want to encourage you not to call it you anymore. so you can stop identifying with it. And the more you stop identifying with it, the weaker it gets. And then you're going to find yourself without thoughts. And you're going to find yourself because the Spirit of God will speak through you. He will use your mouth, your tongue, just as the devil been using it, to speak through you. And you will always be able to deal with everything in a perfect way. You're on the right track. You just need to stay there and know that it's not you. When you get caught up in a thought, the only reason that you still get caught up sometimes is because you're not paying close attention. You're not catching them yet, but you will. You start catching the first thought, and once you catch the first thought, you will not give it to the second thought. But if you don't catch the first one, because the thoughts come really fast, if you don't catch the first one, you'll find yourself into the second one, and then a third one, then a fourth one, then now you're back into, your mind is in that darkness thing. But that's not you, and you're doing just fine. And every human being go through the same thing that those who want to overcome, they keep identifying with the thoughts. But if you just start to know, even if you are feeling that it is you, just start to know this is not me. Who is doing this? Who's talking to me like this? I would never tell myself this. I would never make myself feel this way. You will stop identifying with it, and eventually you wouldn't even have to tell yourself it's not you. You would just know it's not you. You will keep your eyes on yourself, and when you're conversating with other people, when you're at work, when you're doing, your eyes are on what's happening inside of you, meaning that you're aware of that, and that awareness is causing you to overcome the fallen state. You're on the right track. And so for now, when you find yourself going in and out, don't fall for the lie of frustration. Oh, I can't make myself stay out. I still have fear sometimes. It's not you at all. That's the spirit of evil. You're doing just fine. It is working. It is happening. You are overcoming the fallen state, meaning that the ego spirit, which you have been thinking with you all your life, is now dying. That's the death that Christ mentioned when he said that in order to live, you must die. And there are layers and layers of it. So you got to go all the way through hell in order to reach heaven. So you're doing just fine. Okay. And when it does happen, don't judge yourself. Just notice you're in a thought. It's not you. And just keep going. Don't judge yourself. Don't overreact. Just see it. That's all you need to do. And it's working. And as far as the pot, don't worry about the pot. Don't judge yourself for smoking pot. Just notice you smoking pot. While you light it up, you put it in the paper, you roll it up. Be aware of yourself rolling it up. Be aware of yourself bringing it to your mouth, lighting it. Be aware of yourself smoking it. And you're going to notice that you're not going to get so into it. Even though you may smoke it, you're not going to get so into it where it drives you totally unconscious and makes you think that everything is well, right? You're going to be aware. And then one day, you reach for the pot and you won't have an appetite for it. The pot is not the problem. It's overcoming this fallen state. That's the problem. And you've been using the pot to deal with the conflict, to try to feel better, to escape the reality of what was happening inside of you. But you're on your way. You'll be fine. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
I didn't do it last night, and I didn't do it this morning because after our call yesterday, my stomach hurted so much, and then I got a headache because I put myself on the spot, it feels like. So I didn't say, but I was. Before that, I was.
Oh, good. Well, just stay with that and stop. Yeah. And to, as of this moment, never, ever, 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 never, 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 ever judge yourself again. Because in all honesty, and I'm not lying to you, and I'm not trying to appease you, the real Jasmine has never done anything wrong in your entire life. It's impossible for the real Jasmine to do anything wrong. It has, and God knows that. That's why he doesn't judge you, because all of our sins has been wiped away. We are sin-free, but we've been brainwashed to believe that we're not, and we have identified with the false self. It has always been the false self working through you, making you believe that it's you. And you've been judging yourself because you want to do right, but you can't do right. You don't want to do wrong, but you do wrong. It's something else must be driving me, and that's what's been doing wrong. It was never you. You are not a sinner, nor a saint. You're not wrong, nor right. You're not the mind. You're not the body, and you're not the feelings. It has never been you. It was something else working through you. So stop judging yourself. Don't take on the identity of judgment. Don't take on the identity anymore of suicidal thoughts or guilt and all that. All those identities are false identities that must die, and then you will appear, and you're going to have a life. Not only will your material life be fine, but your spiritual life will be amazing. And that's where you are. You are a spirit, and you want to return to that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So just know the feelings and the thoughts are not you, all right?
Okay, every single one of them.
Every single one of them. And you will, I promise you too, I'm not just saying this, I know this as a witness. Every single thought, when I first started saying that all thoughts are all lies all the time, some years ago, I didn't have the depths of how deep they were and how they all lie, because it just, as I'm dying away from them, it's amazing to know that it was never me. It was never the fear and the anxiety and the overreaction and all the worry, the shyness, whatever. It was never me. And likewise, it's not you. It's a false identity. And so all of them, Jasmine, that you get, except practical thought. You use practical thought like a tool. You know, you get in your car and go to work. You make a meal for yourself. You build a house. But when you're done with the hammer, you put it down. But all those other thoughts are all lies, no matter what they say. They're all lies.
Oh, I have a question, Jesse.
Yes.
So, for example, at work, I deal with a lot of companies that are trying to open up businesses.
Right.
And I have to be the one that speaks to them and kind of gets information and everything. So I can tell, like, I don't know, something just tells me when people are, like, fraud.
Yes.
And I'm the only one in the company they have doing that, because I don't know how, but I can tell when they're trying to do fraud.
That's the spirit of the Father. Go ahead.
I've come to the point where, like, I tell them this guy's going to do fraud. He ends up doing 50,000, 30,000, and they still don't listen to me.
Yeah.
So I'm to the point where, like, I just work here, you know. And
that's right.
I actually, when I came to the point where, whenever I was going through, like, the awareness of everything, I came to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't even want to work here anymore. It's stressful to know that I'm giving you guys answers and you don't consider them, and I'm over here arguing with people to fix these issues when I don't have nothing else to do. But the point is, it's like with situations like that where I just, there's something that tells me something's wrong. What is that?
Nice. Hold on 1 minute. Let me take a quick break. Then I'll finish with Jasmine, folks. I'll take your super chats and calls, all right? A quick break. Back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry. because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Okay, folks, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I do it myself by phone, Skype, or walk-in. And if you like an appointment, family, individual counseling, whatever, go to rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-2663, 800-411-BOND, and make the appointment. Also, for personalized shout-outs, I do those as well. Your birthday shout-out, anniversary, congratulations, whatever the issue is, encouragement. For personal shout-outs, go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And let me go back to Jasmine here. So, Jasmine, the reason you're able to see what's going on in other people, you can see when they're lying to you, when they're faking it, you can see whatever's going on. It's the light of God that allows you to see what's going on inside of you. And when you can see what's happening inside of you, you're able to see the world outside of you. You see what's going on with other people as well, except that you won't judge them because you know it's the same spirit that was driving you is driving them when they're trying to cheat or whatever. And so you won't be able to judge them, but you will be protected from them. And that's how God protects us from the world. First of all, He takes us out of the world by causing us not to be inwardly attracted to the world anymore, to only have faith in Him. But He is allowing you to see that. I see that all the time in people. I can, without even trying, I don't try. I don't tell myself, oh, I'm going to pay attention to people and see what's going on. I just naturally see it now, and I understand it. I just move on with my life. Sometimes I point it out. Sometimes, most of the time I don't. But it's the light of God that is allowing you to see. Just as He's allowing you to see what's going on inside of you, He's allowing you to see what's going on outside of you so that you will not be deceived.
Okay, but again, that's the whole don't do anything about it because you're not God.
Right.
Or don't try to fix it.
Right. You do your job and you report whatever information you need to give to your boss. And if your boss decides not to take that information, it's on him. At least you did your job. You tried to tell him, but it's his business. If he doesn't want to take it, that's on him. Don't even judge your boss for not taking information like that.
Yeah. The reason I ask also is because I don't know if you remember yesterday I told you about a guy that I ended up marrying because of business.
Yes.
Well, that guy, I kept telling him we should get divorced. We're done with everything. We should get divorced. And his dad ends up dying. He disappears. Now he's gone. His mom contacted the U.S. Embassy because technically he's gone missing, and on a vacation he went on, and they don't know if he's dead or not. But I'm still married to him legally, and I kept telling him. When his dad died, I told him, get life insurance for yourself and for your family. I'm like, because when things like that happen, like shit pops off, not just in one area. And I gave him so many advice. I told him, don't get into stuff that you know are just gonna lead you to other things. Like, stay focused. Like, I told him to meditate. And this was before I even knew about you. And then to come to find out that 3 months later that he's gone MIA, it's like, now what do I do? Like, do I divorce him, or do I just, like...
You divorce him, Jasmine, and go on with your life and let him suffer his hell. You can't make another person do right. You try to point the right way. If they don't accept it, you move away from that and live your life and let him live in his hell.
Yeah, because I just kind of held off to see, like, they were going to do, like, an investigation for him. And I don't know if he has, like, bank accounts and things like that. Like, I talked to his mom, and I told her I didn't want anything from him. I just wanted to just get divorced. And it sounds like to me, like, through the whole relationship, his mom was involved with everything.
Of course.
And, yeah, and she was kind of surprised. She was like, I heard about you, but I didn't know about you. And, like, she ended up going behind my back and selling his business because she thought I would wanted to keep it or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't really know, to be honest.
A mama is not going to let any other woman take her son away from her. That's her husband.
Yeah, and so I just kind of just stayed in a still situation with that. I just didn't know, like, is it something I need to get divorced and, like, just, is that okay, or is that me being resentful or something? I don't know.
You check yourself to see if you have anger. If you do, watch it, let it pass. But I recommend, do what you want, that you get a divorce and go live your life. It's not a real marriage anyway.
Yeah.
And so, and this mama ain't gonna let you get nothing, no anything anyway. So why not? Now that you can see what's going on, I would recommend you get a divorce and move on with your life, and whatever this guy's into, wish him well in his hell, and you move on.
Okay. Thank you, because you've covered so much. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. You're welcome. Do the silent prayer. Watch. Stop identifying with the spirits of all these crazy spirits that's inside of you right now. It's in your body. It's not in you. It's in the mind. It's and the feelings are in the body, but you're not your body. So it's not in you. It's just inside the physical body. But you're going to be fine. Just work on yourself. Do what you need to do in your life. I'm telling you, Jasmine, it's just going to get better. Stop identifying with the feelings and the thoughts.
Okay.
And all of them are lies. Don't believe any of them. Just let them pass. Don't call it good or evil. Don't call it right or wrong. Just let them pass.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right. Call me again. I wish you well. Amazing conversation.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly to Josh. He's been waiting a long time. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going, man?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Doing fine. I was just calling to answer that biblical question.
Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
It seems like the thoughts. It makes the fear. It makes the danger seem like fear, and vice versa, or kind of like it. I guess like the last girl was saying, I go in and out of awareness, and the practical thoughts seem like they're the thoughts that are lies, and they get mixed up, and then I see afterwards that fear was the illusion. I shouldn't fear that person.
And you said that the thoughts make it feel like danger?
Yeah, like, there's practical danger that you need to, protect yourself
Right.
in certain situations.
Right.
But sometimes the thoughts tell you that's just fear. But it's actually practical danger. And then sometimes when you're really fearing something, it's just a straight up illusion, and you think it's danger. I think it's danger.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Are you still communicating with thoughts?
Am I communicating? I'm not sure. Sometimes I do believe them.
Right. And why?
Because they seem like they're practical thoughts.
I don't understand that.
Like I can't get them. Well, I guess I'm not. It was just like what you were talking about with that last girl, where you said I'm not catching them yet, but I know I don't want to think certain things, but it's like not knowing how to not. I guess I should just avoid them all. I guess
You can't tell the difference between a practical thought and a non-practical thought.
Right.
You can't tell the difference?
No.
Okay, let me ask. I got to go to work. Is that practical or non-practical?
Practical.
I'm lonely. Is that practical or non-practical?
It's non-practical.
I want hog maw and collard greens and candy yam for dinner. Is that practical or non-practical?
All right. See, well, I mean, that's okay. Practical, I suppose, but I don't know. Maybe I should.
You don't know if that practical, what you want for dinner is practical or not?
I would think that, like, I want to be healthy, so I don't want to eat nothing unhealthy like that.
What's unhealthy about hog maws and collard greens?
See, I mean, it's like it's true that, what, maybe you should stick to something healthier. It's true, maybe, but maybe not.
How is that unhealthy?
I don't know. Hog maws give you high blood pressure. It runs in my family, man.
Oh.
I don't know, but yeah.
And how? Oh, so let me ask this. Then I got to run.
Okay.
I want to commit suicide. Is that practical thoughts or impractical thoughts?
That's non-practical. Non-practical.
Right. Practical thoughts are just physical things. I want to work on my business. I need to add an extra door to my room, or things physical to navigate in the earth. But the non-practical thoughts are telling you who you are, how you feel. You ain't no good, make you feel guilty, lonely, sad, depressed, anxiety and worry. And are you fat or are you fit?
I'm in between.
So you plump.
Maybe, yeah. I don't. It's yeah.
So you might.
Well, I think I'm. Huh?
You might as well eat some hog maws and candy yams and collard green. You already plumped.
Well, I'm skinny. I think I'm too skinny. I'm a skinny dude.
Oh, I
thought I want to gain weight, but I don't want to. I don't want to do an unhealthy way, so I don't know. It's tricky like that. I really don't know.
Well, I was just using that as an example of a practical thought. You don't have to eat hog maw if you don't want to.
I know. So,
but stop communicating with thoughts and just watch them, and then just use the practical thoughts as a hammer and a nail, practical ways, right? And you'll be fine, but just stop communicating with the not you.
All right. I'll stay with it.
Yeah, stay with it. Do not give up. Stay with it. Stay with it. Are you, one last thing, Josh, are you in your head about food?
Probably. I'm probably in my head about a lot, because I just used to be very intellectual. So
let's say that, and I'm not telling you to go to get a plate of hog moss, but let's say you get some hog moss, and the devil tell you, oh, that's going to make you sick. That's going to be high blood pressure. Don't listen to those thoughts. And if you want to eat it, eat it. If you don't. But you don't need the thoughts to assist you in that. Because all you're doing is listening to the intellect, and the intellect is of your father, the devil.
Right. And it's like eating healthy. It seems like it's you really need to watch what you eat, but it's probably a lie. I know my mom really used to be into that. Yeah.
The light will guide you how to eat. You don't need somebody to tell you that.
Yep. Okay.
All right, I appreciate you, Josh. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday concerning the biblical question.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Before I go back to the phone, let me do some super chats. Super.
Morning.
Good morning.
Cactus Eater. I'm advertising Hake.
Hake report.
Wow, shiny.
Yeah.
Cactus Eater Bear donated one diamond yesterday. Palestine equals open air prison. No means to thrive.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, they have no way to thrive, Jesse. You're saying, oh, they're sitting around not doing anything with the land, but they're in an open air prison. They have no means to thrive.
That doesn't make sense.
That's what he says.
Ain't no such thing as no means to thrive. What's up? There are a lot they can be doing, nothing but sweeping their yard and painting their houses. That is not true. They can thrive. I don't care where you are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. They definitely, if they have time to build missiles and build build this other stuff, they could be doing something.
And if they have time to sit around and hate the Jew, they could be doing something else. Spending that time overcoming hating. Amazing. Thank you.
It is an open air concentration camp, but they still, if they're building.
What does that mean, an open air concentration camp?
Meaning like what Hake said,
it's an open air prison. Like they can't, there's nowhere to go.
Like what do you mean?
And they're just kept alive.
They can't walk up and down the road.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what it means.
Yeah, well, why you said that then? You don't know.
I'm trying to explain his chat, and I've heard things, but I don't know.
What does that mean, Hassan?
Everything is controlled by Israel, so nothing can come in and out.
Out of Palestine?
Yeah. For example, Israel was able to cut off their food, water, fuel, and electricity, I heard.
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, that's because they're at war.
I know, but Israel is able to do that. Imagine if
war, Israel's not going to do that.
I know, but Mexico can't do that to us.
Right.
Where's Mexico now?
Maybe we could do it to Mexico.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. So
Our country too weak.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if they didn't have any war going on, Israel's not going to bother their water, food, and stuff.
I know, but go ahead, Hassan.
No, I mean Hake's right. I mean the mere fact that they
can do
it, it is what makes it like that.
What? Like what?
Like
and slow.
Like a prison, like a prison or a concentration camp that they completely control it.
Control what?
Everything that comes in
that whole area, that whole region.
Palestine?
Electricity.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. There is no technical Palestine.
It's unincorporated land, huh?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Even
nobody owns it.
Even
officially?
When people say that, like, oh, this isn't a military thing, it's a terrorist thing. It's true, but they don't have a military. So they don't have.
They do have military. They blowing up Israel.
But it's not like a actual proper military. It's not like
they really not blowing them up.
No, they are.
Because they're small and scrappy. They're called terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway,
and also they're kind of vicious because they're so small and
then
Muslim.
Israel's saying, "Oh, we're about to bomb the Gaza Strip. Everyone needs to evacuate." Where are they going to evacuate to?
Go over to Egypt.
Well, that's
I'll rest my case.
They can get to Egypt?
Uh-huh.
Egypt doesn't want them.
But it'll let them in, those that want to get away from the bombing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Whatever.
Blinken's going to
Thank
figure
you.
it out for them. Anthony Blinken.
What does that mean, open air? You don't even know what that means, open air.
Open air means they're not they're not in closed doors. They're outside.
They
They're
don't live
outside.
in a house?
Well, they can live in the house, but they can get out of the house too.
Everybody can. Can't you leave your house?
But open air prison just means that you're stuck in this area, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there's checkpoints.
I'm just reading this super chat. Don't blame me. And then I'm trying to give some quality information context for you for the sake of Cactus Eater Bear's Diamond.
Thank you, Cactus Eater Bear. I appreciate it.
And you're right. They still could be doing something. They don't need to be building missiles and rockets.
I've been over there. I saw them sitting around like the blacks do over here and looking over there at the whites in Israel. And they're like, oh, I hate them. And then we went over there to pray at the dome. And they were walking around the dome trying to make sure we don't pray on the dome. And so the Israel people told us, let's get in a circle so they don't see that we're praying.
So the Muslim people didn't want you praying, or the Jewish people didn't want you praying?
The Muslims didn't.
Oh, okay.
They didn't want us to pray on the dome.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? And when they said that, I started yelling, Lord Jesus, come by here, Lord. If ever the Muslims...
Is that the Golden Dome?
Yeah, the Golden Dome.
Where is that, in Jerusalem?
Right over there by that Wailing Wall thing.
Dome of the Rock, Old City of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. But thank you.
Henry Ford Lives gave a diamond yesterday. Open borders for Israel. Diversity is a strength.
Thank you.
Do you get that?
He doesn't want Israel to have a border?
Yeah, he wants open borders for Israel.
No, we don't want no open borders.
But they need diversity. It's a strength.
No, it's a weakness. Look at, we got everybody and their mama over here, right? Look how weak the country is now. Diversity is not a strength. It's a weakness.
So,
individuality is a strength.
Some people accuse Israel of being an apartheid state.
Nice.
Segregation.
If I was the president, I'd be it too.
In America?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, wish.
Just imagine, if we were apartheid, America would be great.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that would help, definitely.
Yeah.
But spiritually, we got to get right, too.
Absolutely.
But that's nice. Right on.
Thank you.
Coffee Talk with Sandra gave it diamond. Jesse, view on pot? Question mark.
What?
Jesse, view on pot? It's a question.
Oh, it's a question?
Yeah.
My view on pot. That's a good question. I don't have a view on it. I just know that it's being used for the wrong reason, to forget and not to remember. And we want to remember what's going on in us and not forget it so we can overcome it. And so that's my view on it. They're using it for the wrong reason. And the government want you to smoke it so you can forget what's really going on, and it keeps you weak when you forget. The greatest sin is forgetfulness, and pot will help do that if you're not aware. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sion.
That was not Sion. That was Coffee Talk with Sandra.
Oh, Coffee Talk with Sandra. Thank you. Let me take a break. Another hour to go. One more hour to go. When I come back, your super chats and your phone call. We're going to finish these phone calls. Back in a moment. From evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality.
An ex-NFL player allegedly killed his mama. You may have heard about that on the JLP Peterson show in the first hour. He was talking about some star blacks who, so quote-unquote, love their mama. Disappeared to Mexico, but now he's arrested. Allegedly, he killed his mother. Republicans nominated Steve Scalise to be up for vote for Speaker of the House against, Hakeem Jeffries, I guess. But probably doesn't have enough votes because some of the more conservative Republicans think that he's too much of a rhino. 43 million student loan leeches. Oh, what a mess. And Chipotle is raising prices, more expensive options. And junk tax Biden is targeting junk fee businesses. Pots and kettles, am I right? This is the end of hour 2 of the JLP Peterson show. It is Thursday, October 12th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour 3. Last hour of Bible Thumper Thursday is coming right up with JLP. To your calls, the lines are full. But he will get to you. But first, Hake News, and the rest of the Super Chats. We are remiss in not reading all the Super Chats. But first, Hake News on fake news. Who was arrested? Sergio Brown, say the ladies at the Skim. He black with wild dreadlocks or braids or whatever. Yesterday, the former NFL player was arrested for killing, allegedly, his 73-year-old mother. He was living with her, by the way. Brown went missing for about a month after authorities found his mother's body near her home in September. Authorities had a warrant for his arrest for alleged murder and found him entering the U.S. through the Mexico border. He was down there partying and stuff and said it was fake news, allegedly, that his mother had died, maybe. He will be extradited to Illinois, where he faces first-degree murder charges. We wish him well. And the next speaker in name only, House Republicans picked Representative Steve Scalise as their nominee for Speaker on Wednesday, but the Louisiana Republican still scrambling to find the votes needed to win the gavel. If all current members, according to CNN, are present and voting on the floor, Scalise would need 217 votes to win the speakership and can only afford to lose 4 Republican votes. However, several lawmakers are looking in to throw a wrench into the current majority leader's speaker plans, saying they will instead vote for Representative Jim Jordan, another rhino, in my opinion, but maybe more conservative. He ran against Scalise for the nomination and lost. The floor vote for the next House Speaker could occur as soon as today. Remains to be seen whether Scalise was able to wrangle enough support from within his conference overnight. Maybe the vote has already happened. This could be old news from Hake. Wouldn't be the first time. Scalise, according to the ladies of the Skim, survived a liberal gunshot wound at 2017 baseball game under Trump. And he's undergoing chemotherapy. I guess that's for cancer, right? Wow, I didn't know that. That's why he looks so sickly, in my opinion. With at least 10 Republicans standing firm against Scalise, he could be on track for a repeat of January. Remember that? A series of House votes before there was an elected speaker with Kevin McCarthy. There's another looming government funding deadline. Maybe another shutdown, hopefully. Or a shutdown again, hopefully. And that war between Israel and Gaza, Congress, all self-important. They should have nothing to do with it, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Student loan leeches, 43 million so-called Americans have federal student loans collectively amounting to $1.6 trillion in debt. Drop in the bucket compared to what America so-called owes, according to the National Student Loan Data System. Payments resumed following a scam-demic-related pause. Some Americans tell CNN they're trimming their budgets, taking fewer trips, cutting back on discretionary purchases to pay for their student loan bills. First world problem, so-called, am I right? Turning into second world communism. Chipotle raising prices again. The burrito chain is confident it can beef up, get it, profits with more expensive menu options, according to CNN. And so far, increased prices haven't scared people off. And the commie capitalist government squeezing and scapegoating businesses. Joe Biden Wednesday unveiled new efforts to crack down on junk fees, hidden misleading fees. Companies sneak into your bill to make you pay more, Biden said. Federal Trade Commission specifically unveiled a proposed rule to ban fees across multiple industries and require companies to show full prices up front, preventing event ticketing companies, hotels and lodging companies, apartment and car rental agencies from surprise fees. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to this third hour of the show already. It is Thursday. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. The biblical question for this week: why are you afraid of anyone on earth? Why are you afraid of anyone on earth? You ever ask yourself that? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And don't forget to, if you are busy lifting weights or whatever you're doing, laying up at a beach, taking that drug so you can commit suicide, what do you call it? Fentanyl. Whatever, smoking pot, or try to get some affirmative action, or reparation now, reparation forever. Good morning, family. Reparation now, a reparation forever. Whatever you're doing, you could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad, 641-793-1500. All right? Don't forget to follow us on JLP Talk on Twitter. Well, known now as X, better known as Twitter. And Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. All right? And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com, or rebuildingtheman.com, or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. It's Thursday. It's the last hour of Thursday's show. It is Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper.
The sign outside the New Era Baptist Church in Birmingham reads, "A black vote for Trump is mental illness."
I am the daughter of two pastors.
You will emerge from that as an atheist.
President Joe Biden is only the second Catholic president.
If you don't, they call him the Holy Father. Hey, that's a holy about the Pope.
God, why? Why George, God?
Holy mackerel.
Why, Lord?
I can't believe you people follow a man. What the? Until you overcome the world, you're just going to have hell on life, hell on earth. So what I want to do is I want to finish up with those super chats that we started with because I hadn't gotten to them. And then I'll go back to the phone calls, all right? Super chat.
Super chats. Games for Rec gave a diamond all in the name.
In the name. It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Coffee Talk with Sandra with a diamond, no message. Thank you. Coffee Talk with Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Bald Lesbian bought you 3 coffees yesterday.
Lesbian.
Do Do you guys have any idea what happened to the Get a Job channel? I miss Savage Moments, Jesse Lee Peterson's Savage Moments. I've watched them for 5 years. Much love to you, Jesse and experts.
Thank you. He's on Instagram now.
No.
What?
Rumble.
He's on Rumble. You got to know how to Rumble. Rumble.com.
/user/getajob2.
So check him out on Rumble. You two don't like him right now. They want to play them all.
Yeah, they do. According to him, they deleted his channel with no warning.
Amazing.
My close and personal friend Jib Jab bought a coffee. Hello, Jesse and Bond. We need someone to overlook a plantation. Our guys are always fleeing and acting a fool. Whom should we contact?
Hake.
Nice. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Hake would be a perfect white man to run the plantation. Oh, see? And he would love it.
Indeed, I would. Mike.
And all the black would be calling him massa.
Indeed. The Mexicans called me Jefe.
When my heifer?
Jefe. Boss, not heifer. Cow.
They would call him massa. When my master sick, I said, yes, sir, massa, we sick. Amazing. Thank you.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, speaking of overcoming mama, and don't get me wrong, I love Will Smith, a very good, underrated actor. But I just found that him and Jada have been separated since 2016, and that this man is fighting over a woman over a joke with Chris Rock.
Yesterday.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did?
Yes, you did.
That's not true.
About JD and her husband separated for a while, and he's fighting over her, and they're not even together.
I gave with him a message on X to overcome his anger and his mother, but it's up to him if he wants to overcome the hell that he's in.
Do you remember him reading that yesterday?
I don't.
Oh, okay. I do remember that.
Maybe you read it on like an email or something.
I didn't read it.
Or else...
I'll read.
Me neither, but
Black
Chris...
people don't read. We just watch TV.
I'm told I read at a 3rd grade level.
Who told you that?
Somebody in the chat said that Hake does read at a 3rd grade level.
You becoming too black.
Yeah, terrible.
Thank you, though, Mike.
Thank you. I really don't remember reading that.
Okay.
Mary bought you 3 coffees. I'm going to forgive my mother this weekend. I haven't seen my mother since I was in South Korea when she left me and my brother about 40 years ago. I was adopted in 1984. She's coming to the States to visit her sister for the first time. And because of you, Jesse, I realized I need to do it face to face. I forgave my father, whom I've never met since he died when I was 3 years old. Even though I've never knew my father, I always had the love for him and wanted to know him more than anyone else on this earth, which put me in a state of wanting to know the Father in heaven. Thank you, Jesse, for your wisdom. God has my life planned out, and I know God will lead me to where I'm supposed to be every step of the way.
Yeah. You welcome, and I wish you well. Let me know how it goes with your mother. My mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. Let me know how it goes. I wish you well. So did we finish Mike?
We did.
Thing, just in case we did.
Yeah, I read the entire thing.
Okay.
Even though you interrupted it politely. Joao, John in English, I'm Brazilian, bought a coffee, J-O-A with the Enye thing, O. It's Portuguese. I don't know how to read your name, man. Hi, Hake. Hi, Jesse. When I was a child, I asked my parents, why don't we write a new Bible? If we know God for ourselves, shouldn't we be able to write it as well? They got mad at me. It's amazing how we as a child know the truth. Much love from Brazil to you all. Hassan been kind of beta, though.
You're welcome, and thank you. You're right about that. Kids know the truth. But the parents don't like the fact, especially mama, that the kids know, so they'll smack you. Amazing. Thank you.
Coffee talk with Sander with 3 diamonds, no message. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Games for Rec with a diamond. Why only Jesse and Hake on D-Live? Come on, man. I know. I'm trying to tell the other JLP network hosts to join up on D-Live so that Beta Legs and others can donate lemons to them.
They'll get there slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It's just one step. Anyway, 3 steps.
Sometimes it's hard for people to take that first step.
Yeah. Coffee Talk with Sandra. Great question, Games. Referring to Games for Rex at Question About D Live.
Nice. Thank you.
Leaving money on the table. Coffee Talk with Sandra, Henry Ford Lives, Cactus Eater Bear, Baby Jessica's Daddy, Kid Combo 1, Rain Pipe, Appreciate the Lemons, guys. Those were the top contributors yesterday.
Amazing. Thank you.
These are today's Super Chats now. My close and personal friend Jib Jab bought a coffee. Good morning, Jesse. Is selfishness a virtue in your opinion?
That's interesting. And I want to say more about it, but I want you to know there's no such thing as selfishness. It's just a made-up word. It does not exist.
Interesting.
It's just a made-up word to control you with. That's what your mama used and other people use when they want to control you. They say you're selfish. But there's no such thing as selfishness. Amazing. Thank you.
Raul G. bought 10 coffees. Listening to this show while delivering an anchor baby at the state-funded hospital today. Psalm 27, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Oh, this sounds like it's a reference to the biblical question.
Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
Psalm 27 continues, starting with the middle of verse 1. The Lord is my stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Nice. Thank you, Raul G.
Amazing. Thank you.
Nice passage.
And FYI, Anchor Baby live on D Live for the first time today at 12 noon. Anchor Baby live on D Live for the first time today at 12 noon Pacific time.
And what's the user?
Anchorbaby.com.
Gorgon's Ola.
Granola.
No, it's Gorgon's Ola. Gorgonzhola. Nice.
What did that mean?
That's his Twitter name, and it's his user on
Gorgon's Gola.
Gorgon's Ola.
Ola.
With a Z. It's a type of cheese.
Oh, type of cheese. See there?
Gorgon's Ola.
Hola.
Nice. Cool. Right on. Someone bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I forgave my mother. I do the silent prayer every morning and every night. I'm beginning to think I need to really keep my daughter away from my mom. I see her trying to spoil my daughter. She wants to spoil her and get her addicted to her. I see it and I don't like it. Does this mean I should never see my mom? Or just maybe make it less frequent? I'm conflicted about it. What do you think?
Well, I would recommend you make it clear to your mother that since she's not going to follow your rules concerning your daughter, you're not going to let her around your daughter anymore. At least not by herself. That way you'll be able to watch her. But I wouldn't trust my daughter with my mother if she's doing that. Because she is destroying her in the same way she destroyed you. Amazing. So I will either stay away or make it clear that if she keep doing it, I wouldn't trust her with that anymore. If you're going to go around your mother at all with your daughter, you stay and keep eye on her. But it's best to keep her away from your mother. Amazing. Thank you.
Also on Buy Me a Coffee, Elias Garcia bought a coffee. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children, children over the dog, and the dog over Hassan.
Who let the dogs out? Amazing.
Henry Ford Lives with a diamond. R. Kelly is a freak. Give him the gas chamber, he says.
R. Kelly got the same spirit going on, and you see it came from his mother, that every human being has. And it's not him. The only thing is, if he does get out of jail, he'll do the same thing over or something different if he doesn't overcome that spirit of his mother. Amazing.
Zuzu Sion.
Thank you.
Zuzu Sion with the coffee. Wow, Jesse. Okay sign. Black hands clap emojis. You're looking good. Heart eyes emojis. Shirt fits you too. It's scary. The radical Islam might start chopping off heads again here in the U.S. soil. Who will stop them?
One thing for sure, I don't know what, but something is coming here that's not going to be good. Believe me. Our borders are wide open, rumors of war, and you have these warmongers encouraging war, and they already have terrorists. They have discovered terrorists more so this time than ever in our country, crossing the board on the terror list, crossing the borders illegally. Get ready, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Thank you.
My close and personal friend Jib Jab says Ray Charles could see that R. Kelly drinking from his mama's lipstick was demented.
Well, that's what mamas do to all their children. They may not make you drink the coffee, but they're making you subject to them in one form or another. It's the same spirit. It wasn't him, his mother traumatized him. And so it's that same spirit in mama that making him do the same thing. And I'm telling you all that so you can wake up. Well, hopefully you will. And you will understand that our battle is truly a spiritual battle. It's not physical at all. And you need to see what's driving you. It's not you. And it's not God. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee, no message. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hannes O'Callahan bought 3 coffees. Happy Thursday to you all, and God bless.
Thank you. Happy Thursday to you, too. Thank you.
Renesio bought a coffee. Jesse, I'm afraid of people not just on Earth, but even just here in L.A. Oh, this is an answer to the biblical question.
Why are you afraid of anyone on Earth?
Because they're insane and drive too fast in L.A. Plus, a dirty bum can just stab me, he says.
Thank you for responding. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
Zuzu CC on. Love you, Jesse. Never smoked any drug in my life. I like wine sometimes, Merlot, Pinot Noir, or Chardonnay. Keep that into the Anchor Baby Show. Rated R Anchor Baby Show. Thank God. I only have an addiction of Jesse Lee Peterson. You like red wine? It's healthy.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little red wine. Jesus made the wine.
Some argue, no, he made grape juice.
He made wine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Iwama, free spaceship, please. Bought a coffee. Jesse and Jasmine sitting in a tree. Kissing. Seriously, shout out to the geese. Their pride and degeneracy made me reflect on the pride I take in my ethnicity, personality, and so forth. Is a prideful Christian/Muslim/Jew protester, etc., that much different from a pride protester? No, he says.
That is so true. That is so true. Right on. Thank you.
Christopher H. bought 16 coffees saying thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, guys. I do believe that's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. Amazing. Thank you, Hake.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me go quickly to Casey. Our first time call out of Texas. He's been waiting a long time as well. Casey, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yeah, thanks, man. How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Casey.
Nice. Yeah, brother, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for what you're saying. I stumbled upon you about a month ago, and just some of the stuff you were saying about mothers and how it's not the father's fault and the mother's, that hit. And I felt my spirit, God's spirit, speaking to me, man. And then, a few days later, you start talking about, beta men or I don't know the timeline really, right? So,
right.
But you were talking about beta and being like your mother and stuff. And man, something hit me called the Holy Spirit and made me realize that what my wife has been saying was true. So, man, I guess long story short, we've been having some issues here lately. And she's been saying I'm a woman. I'm just, that she's not my mother and all this stuff. And oh yeah, it's crazy. And I would just get mad. And then I'd just be like, I'm not a woman, she'd call me all kind of names. I don't have no man part, and I got a woman part, but she's a little more explicit.
Right.
But and I would get so mad, and it was true. What you were saying was true, and God hit me hit my heart and just revealed, like, oh, she's right. She might have been saying it out of anger, because she, you know, it was her anger that she was saying it out of, but man, God was speaking through her. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah, and so I could backtrack real quick. 5 years ago, I was totally reborn, set free from addiction, set free from myself. Like, I died to self. God healed me, just crazy. And then for 2 years, I walked free of thoughts, free of people, free of anger, fear, everything. Marriage healed. And then slowly, I think the problem I've been trying to get with God to see where the disconnect was. So after about 2 years, I started to slowly slip back and believe the lie. And I believe it was due to kind of what you're saying. I didn't realize what it meant to be a man, and the stuff with the mother and how the mother. I didn't see all that. Like I didn't see that part, and so I slowly started slipping back, and the anger came back, and that's when stuff started going crazy with my wife. And I got 3 little kids, and they see us fight and stuff. And then, but for the past month, I mean, it was like a light bulb clicked on. It's like, no, you're free. You just haven't seen it. Your wife's been right. So,
amazing.
I apologize. Go ahead. Yeah. It was amazing, man. I've been ripping off your catchphrases like crazy. I'm not even ashamed of it.
Have you gone and forgiven your mother?
So I did. I did do that, and it was amazing that all the stuff you said. So I had a hard time at first realizing. I heard it, and I knew I needed to, but I didn't know what. So I got quiet, and I was like, God, what do I need to forgive her of? There's something there, because it wasn't. She didn't turn me away from my father, as in like. She never talked bad about my father. I never actually saw them fight. They did get divorced, but I never saw them fight as a kid. She didn't even after the divorce, she never talked bad about him. But what I realized is that she was really nice, really sweet. I would always have this, she babied me. My father was military, so he was gone quite a bit. And so she had to discipline me and stuff. And she was real nice about it, real sweet, babying me.
Those are the worst ones.
Well, yeah. And that's what I was like, what do I need to forgive her for? And that was what it was. And, man, I'm 38, and my wife would tell me, she hated it when my mom would call, because she would tell me, she talks to you like a baby. And I started to realize it. I was like, she talked to me like, oh, here's my sweetie.
Oh, man.
I'm 38 years old.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. But so I had to forgive her, and I told her, I said, hey, I gotta apologize to you, because I resented you, because you babied me, you treated me like a baby, and you turned me into a woman.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
And what did she say?
She cried, and I just kind of, like you said, just kind of look at her like you're watching a movie. I FaceTimed her. She lives in another state.
Right.
I FaceTimed her. I just kind of watched her. She cried, and then she's like, I didn't realize I was doing it. And I said something along the lines of, you couldn't help it because your mother, I kind of went into a little bit about what you said. I didn't hammer it on her or nothing.
Right.
I was just stepping into it. So I just kind of let it be. And, man, I've just been free. It's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
But my wife was right, man. My wife was right.
Absolutely. Those nice mothers are the worst ones, because they hide behind niceness. And even if your mother did not badmouth your father, in her heart, she resent him in her spirit. And the kid can pick that up too, spirit to spirit. They can tell that the mother resent the father, and they are identified with the mother, and they'll start to feel the way their mother feels about their father and not their own feeling. They'll see him the way she sees him, even if she didn't say anything bad about it, because you communicate spirit to spirit. And so a lot of times they don't say out loud what they're feeling in their hearts.
Yeah. And there was always something there you could tell. She always took the innocent approach for me. And then I noticed that's what I would do. I'm always really nice guy. Like I was just A beta.
Yeah, beta.
And that's That's what when you said it, that beta and all this stuff, it hit me, man. And the truth will set you free. It set me free instantly. All the anger that I had towards my wife, I actually went and told her. I don't know if that was the best thing, but I said, hey, look, I've been this beta man, and everything you've actually said was out of anger, but man, God was speaking through you. Because she got reborn years ago too, but her anger came back, and we just been living crazy for about 3 years. But,
anger don't come back. Once you overcome the spirit of anger, once it's taken away from you, it can't come back because you are now protected by the light of God, and the darkness cannot defeat the light. So it was always there. It's just that you may have been covering it up, pretending that it wasn't there.
Interesting.
Once you're born of the light, you can't be reborn again.
And that's what I've been kind of wondering, because that 5 years ago, I was free for a few years. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. And then that's what I'm not struggling with, but I'm just wondering what happened there. How was I free? And then I stepped back into this garbage, and then something you said, and then that freedom just came back, like the anger's gone.
Right.
That's what I don't understand.
You were not free. You're just feeling good about something that happened. The freedom is when you overcome the ego, when you overcome darkness, when you truly overcome anger, and you live a life without thinking, then you're free, because you no longer have the darkness of the mind and emotions. Are you doing the silent prayer?
I am. Yep.
Well, stay with it.
Morning and night.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. And now that you've gone and forgiven your mother, I want to encourage you to just watch those thoughts and just watch them, knowing that they're not you, the feelings are not you. And then they would disappear, and you would truly know freedom. You would know exactly what it is, and nothing and no one can ever touch you again.
I love it.
But you got to stay with the silent prayer. Amazing, man. Well, are you still with your wife?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I'm still with her. We still got the kids. And, man, it's funny because I have no anger towards her.
Nice.
She still wants to get mad at me, and I just kind of laugh, or I tell her how it is. Like, hey, this is what this. You're not over the kids anymore. You know, I do the discipline. I do it all.
Right on, man.
She was so. Back when I had all this anger, she was like, I want you to be the lead. You're supposed to be the lead as a Christian. And I was like, I am lead, but I wasn't. But now I'm actually taking that authority back that God gave me, and she hates it because she don't want to give it up.
Yeah, she doesn't want to give it up, and she doesn't want to lose the control she had over you. And when they're complaining like that, what they're saying is, you don't let me control you anymore. I can't control you. So she based on what you've said, she has a love-hate relationship with that. She wants you to be strong, but she hates it when you try to be strong, and she hates it when you're weak. So she have a love-hate relationship going on. But if you stay on that straight and narrow, you'll be fine, the kids will be fine, and then about 50 years, she'll wake up, and then you'll die.
I hope it ain't 50 years, but you know what? You're right. I will be fine, man. I'll just laugh, and I'll just be free.
Yeah.
And if she wants to come along, she can.
That's right. If not, she'll live it or hell. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Call me again.
All right, brother. Bye.
Bye now. I got to take a break. When I come back, more of your phone calls and Super Chat. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, They have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true. It's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. All right, folks, welcome back. 888-7753-773. There's a line open. Couple announcement. The Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake, Hake report.com, from 9 to 11 Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon Pacific time. And as of today, he is on D-Live as well. D-Live, all right? And so at 12 noon Pacific time, the American Anchor Baby. Check out our merch. Amazing merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. Mugs, T-shirts, hoodies, all kind of good things there. Amazing merch. And this shirt that I have on now, Better Not Bitter, you can get it there at rebuildingtheman.com/store. All right? And don't forget to, for your comments, your personal shout-outs, to go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson for a personal shout-out, birthdays, anniversaries, and all that kind of stuff. Congratulations. I'll do them for you at cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Quick announcement. Breaking news, I guess. CBS has reported that Newsom signs laws to fast-track housing on churches' land. Newsom signed laws to fast-track housing on churches' lands. Religious institutions in California will be allowed to turn their parking lots and other properties into low-income housing under a new law aimed at combating the ongoing homeless crisis. The law rezones land owned by churches to allow for affordable housing. What a mess. Okay. Anyway, 888-775-3773. Let me go to Lola. Her name was Lola. Lola Fulana. Lola, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi, Lola.
I want to thank you so much. I know I call all the time, but the things that you do for me, I wish my dad did. My dad never had these answers, so I've suffered so much, or, in life, not knowing what I know. But I watched the video with Dave Williamson. Do you recall the guy that had the near-death experience?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So I have a question about that black void that he described. The reason why I'm so interested in this is because my desire now is to know how I was designed before the fall. I want to know what I really am like. in spirit, not in this body, I think those answers would help me navigate through life and not have that fear no matter what comes my way. I know that you said at some point you said you wanted to talk to that about that black void.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to know your thoughts because I keep reading Genesis and trying to understand what we were like before the fall and what God's original intention for us was. And in there it says he created light. Or first he created this black void. And then he created light. So we are the light in that black void. Is that black void the world as we see it? And we just go through that black void. David Williamson, he said that black void when he, I guess, died, he wasn't scared. He described it as a black velvety feel to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But all his questions and answers, or all his questions were answered being in that void. Can you explain that to me?
Now I can't speak on behalf of David at all because I don't know what he meant. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. But I can tell you that once you let go of all thoughts and you stop trusting them as you or thinking that they're from God and you don't hold on to them at all, any form of identity or anything, not even the knowledge that you hear about or the wisdom, you don't hold on to anything, then there's nothing left. And in that nothingness, life is created. When there's nothing for you to identify with, nothing for you to hold on to, then life is being created. And that's when God would take over and create life in you. And you would know him, you would know your purpose on life, you would know everything that you ever wanted to and will want to know. But you got to first empty yourself by not identifying with anything or anyone. And the void is nothingness. The black void is nothingness. When you have nothing to identify with, then you should know God.
And in that nothingness, everything is possible.
All things is possible and will be. It will happen.
Now, he mentioned another thing that really stuck with me. At the end of that video, he said, as you leave this earth, that you are. That really resonated with me because I think I understand now that if you are living in hell, asleep on earth, when you leave this body, you continue in that state in hell, but you're awake. You know that you're in hell. A lot of people on earth right now are in hell, but they don't know it, which is why I believe you keep saying you can live in this world in paradise. And when you leave this body, you just continue on in that state.
Right. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as death. It's only the death of the ego. It's only the death of the darkness that's in your mind and emotions. And when you drop that, there's no more death. There's no death, right? But if you hold on to the darkness, when you do drop your body, all you have left is the darkness, death. But if you drop your body in the light, all you have left is light.
Huh.
Are you doing the silent prayer at night, every night a day?
Every morning, every night.
Good.
And I have so many questions. Nothing else interests me anymore. I just want to know who I am and what I am. And I just leave it to God to reveal it to me.
Well, as you're overcoming the not you, the things that you're not, you shall know who you are. But for now, you just focus on who you're not. You watch the thoughts and the feelings and the overreactions and all this mess, and you overcome that. You will know who you are once that is gone. And so just be patient and watch the not you. And as you're watching the not you, it is disappearing, and you will know you, because you will appear as the not you is disappearing. You're not your thoughts, you're not your feeling, you're not your body.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So stay with
Thank
it.
you so much, Mr. Jesse.
You're welcome. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
I will. I definitely will.
All right. God bless you, Lola.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. 888-7753-773. First time call out of New York, Nicole. Nicole, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Nicole? I hear Nicole way back there somewhere. She may have me on mute.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, Nicole, you're on the air.
Yes, I am. How are you, Jesse?
All is well. Welcome.
So I came here to ask a question. I want to know if my husband is a beta male.
And do you think that he is?
No.
Oh, but what made you ask?
Well, here's the thing. We got married when I was 18, and we had sex before marriage. So I just was curious to know if, like, he was a beta male.
Well, that's an interesting question. You know, the reason that he has sex before marriage is because he resents his mother. And when you become angry, it awakens all of those spirits, false identities inside of you. And because he resents his mother, he was looking for sex and calling it love. But it wasn't love. And the same way with women. Women are looking for a father's love because they resent their mother as well. And they end up they try to find it in the man, but instead of finding love, they get screwed.
Oh.
Have you overcome your anger?
So I somewhat overcome it. Sometimes I catch myself still getting mad at him, like when we're arguing and he yells at me or whatever. Catch myself like getting angry. But then I realize, like he's the head of the house. He's the head of me. He's a leader. So I still respect him either way.
Why have you overcome your anger?
Well, because growing up, my father wasn't there. He left my mom when she was pregnant with me. And from then on, he tries to be in my life now that I have a husband. But it's just I'm so angry at him because he wasn't there when I was young. So it's really hard.
But if he's trying to be in your life, he's telling you, I didn't leave you, I left your mother. Your mother's an evil woman, and he didn't know how to deal with that.
Oh. Well, here's the thing. He was not trying to be there when I was younger. But now that he sees that another man stepped up, he's so, angry, and he does not like my husband at all.
But how do you know that? How do you know this when you haven't asked him, had a conversation with him?
Well, I had a conversation with him. He said that he does not like him, and he's a good man. He has never abused me or anything like that.
Who, your husband?
Really good husband. Yeah.
Yeah. But you need to overcome your anger so you can pay attention to what's happening inside of you and not your husband. And why haven't you forgiven your mother?
Well, because growing up, the living situation wasn't good. She was very violent. She was very abusive, verbally abusive, physically abusive. So from then on, now she tries to say oh, I love you. I want to get closer. I'm sorry. It's I don't want it anymore because she didn't have that same energy when I was younger growing up. So it's kind of hard.
But that's not going to make you free because you have become like her. And if you want to be free, you're going to have to forgive her so that God can forgive you. And it doesn't mean you got to talk on the phone with her all the time or anytime, really. It doesn't mean you got to hang out with her, but you just overcome that evil spirit that's inside of her.
Right. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, I catch myself getting angry, and I realize, like, it's somewhat from her.
It is from her. It's totally from her.
Yeah. And my husband, like, I take it out on him sometimes, and I don't mean to.
Right. Because it is driving you. You cannot do anything about it. It's a spirit of hell inside of you. And if you and your husband have children, you're going to destroy them in the same way your mother destroyed you, because you become like your mother.
Right.
So I would encourage you to go and forgive your mother. Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize you can help yourself, and I become like you, and I understand now you can help yourself. I'm sorry for resenting you. And don't expect her to apologize. You don't have to hang out with her. But when you forgive her, God will forgive you. And then you'll overcome the anger. And forgive your father, because just like you see all that hell in your mother, your father didn't know how to handle that.
Right. She's fat and black.
Your mama fat and black?
Yeah.
How old are you?
20.
You're 20?
Yes, I am.
Why are you married so early?
Well, I've always thought about it. I just always wanted to get married. And
Oh.
I was not really, like, expecting to get married at 20, but then I found my husband, and we just really connected. And
Nice. Are you married to a white man?
Puerto Rican.
I knew you wouldn't have no black one. No, listen. Work on you, all right? Are you doing the silent prayer?
No.
You know about it?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to start doing it so that you can overcome the thoughts and the feelings, all right?
Okay.
And forgive your mother and your father. Have a talk with your father and just apologize for resenting him as well. And God will forgive you, and you're going to have an amazing life.
Okay. Beira.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Amazing. Amazing. Let me go to Brandy, and then we'll get to Super Chats and more calls, all right? Brandy out of Hawaii. Brandy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
I'm always so nervous waiting on hold.
Hey.
Yeah, I know.
Stay out of your head.
I know.
Yeah.
Lola's call was amazing. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I'm nervous. But then I come out of it, and then I go back in, and then I come out. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm tripping out just sitting here on hold.
Well, just watch those thoughts. It's not you.
I was just saying that. No, it's not me. It's not me. So I have everybody at work saying beta now. And like everybody.
Nice.
Everybody's listening to you. Hey, I was calling about the Israel thing going on.
Right.
I was, listening to your monologue always in the morning, and the guy you posted saying that he was gonna stay here and fight. I usually do the silent prayer like right after the phone goes dead on the way to work, and I was thinking how that's like already here in America, really, with that border open.
Yeah.
If you're the enemy, just think of Iran hates us. We're known as the Great Satan.
America
so
is known as the big Satan, and Israel is known as the little Satan to these people.
You're right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that. They want us dead. And you're going to tell me that with that border wide open, they're not already here? I don't know if people remember that 2015, 16, when Obama was like leaving office and then Trump was coming in. We had ISIS all over the place. People were jumping out of the car on, what was that, San Bernardino? I think it was off the 10. A woman and man jumped out of the car and started shooting everybody on the freeway.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And mall shootings. They were going into malls and just started shooting people.
Yeah.
Remember all that?
They're
People don't
already
remember
here.
that.
They're sleeping cells.
Yep, they're here. And it's funny because they're talking about sending our guys to Israel, right? And I'm not totally against it. I get it, but something you said yesterday, it's like, is that their plan? They're going to take all of our guys that can fight for us over there, and then they're going to start shooting us here, and there's going to be a lot of women and children by themselves. They're going into houses over there, cutting babies' heads off.
Well, the one thing for sure, I don't quite understand the whole picture yet. I know we have been set up. America is being weakened and set up for rough times to come. And it's only happening because the people want money and power. And so they have to weaken us in order to get that. And that's what's happening. It's for the money and the power.
Yep. And the parachuting back in, like, I think it was 2015 in Paris, where they walked in and started shooting everybody in the concert. I mean, I would right now probably stay away from public areas, and if you can carry, I would carry. I would definitely have weapons, because it's going to get really bad.
Yeah.
If these people do not get out of here, it's going to be in people's backyards, and people don't see that even coming. It's really mind-boggling to watch it.
A child ain't safe in America no more.
They're not, and it's going to get worse and worse. Like, it's going to get really bad, Jesse. There's going to be 9/11s everywhere.
That's what I'm trying to encourage people to overcome their anger so that they won't have fear and they'll be protected. They'll be able to deal with what's to come in the right way. But if they have anger, they're going to overreact and end up destroying themselves. They're going to walk right into the hands of the enemy. It's just going to happen, but they got to overcome that anger. Brandy, I got to run due to time, but call me again. I appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you, Jesse. I love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you. Super chat. Super.
Super chats.
Amazing. I'm telling you, overcome the anger so you don't overreact. And stop overreacting, because every time you overreact, you give life to evil. And that's what it wants you to do. It's stay alive in that way. Be still, and you'll be fine. Hey.
Replete over on Kick says, this talk of the devouring mother from their first hour is on point, but it leads to the question, what does the man brought up by an absent father do about the fatherlessness? It's like looking for an app on your smartphone that was never installed. Where to download the Father app?
So, what's the question?
What do you do if you had an absent father?
You overcome mama and forgive your father for not being there. Just know he wasn't there for it. And he didn't leave you. He left the mama. And God will develop you into manhood. He will become your father. Because that's what's missing anyway. That emptiness is being turned away from earthly father and God. He'll turn you back to him, and he will fulfill that void, and you will have a father. It will be him. Thank you.
Puke Bucket on Rumble says the churches were assisting the illegal alien invasion. Makes sense they were working together on that.
Yeah.
Is that the Newsom news? I don't know. I don't know what he was commenting on.
I know that the Catholic churches were helping.
Oh, yeah. No, it's bad. The Salvation Army, if you heard Big Bump on my show, the Salvation Army, I don't think they're Catholic. They're supposedly Christian.
Right.
Was using FEMA money to fly illegals over to New York City from California.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Christians are some of the weakest people I ever seen in my whole entire life.
According to the Daily Mail.
They are weakened in Allahu Abba.
Mill, in answer to your biblical question, I have some biblical question responses.
Why are you afraid of anyone on earth?
Replying to JLP Talk on X, I fear no one but God, says Mill.
Thank you.
Igor says, this has been a no my whole life. Since I can remember, I've never met an individual who made me feel fear.
Thank you. What?
He never met a person who made him feel fear.
Amazing. Thank you.
Jesus.
I'll respond on Sunday.
Jesus was afraid of the people planning on crucifying him. He even asked to get out of it. Emoji.
But not because he was afraid. What's amazing.
Orson West says, because the ego, its pride convinces me to care.
Thank you.
What people think. Italo Americano says, that's not a biblical question, dummy.
Thank you.
And shout out to the top contributors on D Live: Henry Ford Lives, Games for Rec, Rhythmic something or other, Kid Combo 1, Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong, and Rain Pipe. Appreciate you guys supporting. And thanks, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. Do what you want, but I recommend you as an individual get on that straight and narrow path. Overcome the world by overcoming emotions and anger, thoughts and feelings, all right? Get on that path. Only you. The spiritual journey is no one can travel with you. What?
Rhythmic Carnage.
What?
Rhythmic Carnage was that other D Live supporter whose name I couldn't figure out.
Oh, thank you, Rhythmic Carnage.
Yeah.
But get on that straight and narrow. Do the silent prayer, forgive. Especially, Mama, if you didn't hear the first hour today, make sure you check it out. The first hour on rebuildingtheman.com. Right. Amazing. Amazing. What?
/show.
Oh, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. Collins out of Canada. Bradley, a first-time call out of Missouri. Jonathan, a first-time call out of Northern Ireland. And Rick out of Virginia. I am so out of time. Tomorrow is Open Line Friday. The Hake report is coming up now. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. He's on D-Live now, too. What the? For the first time today. Have a good one, folks. Get on that straight and narrow. It's amazing. Take care. Stand up. Stand up. Face the truth about yourself and just stand up. Seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. Find a way. Find a way. You must know thyself so you can stand up. Something went wrong, but stand up. Face the truth about yourself and just stand up. God's kingdom comes. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. Amazing. I know we can. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Like my cousin, sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that he showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. Just because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that, because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us. And all is well.
Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson.